Okay, well, welcome everybody to the all-team monthly call for Elite Fundraising Solutions and the Hero Program. My name's Amanda Adams. I am the operations officer. Most of you know me, but for those of you who are new, welcome to the team. It's wonderful to see lots of new names. Hopefully you'll get more and more comfortable and you guys will start turning your cameras on because we love to see faces too. And for those of us who are talking and sharing, it's helpful to see your faces and see the reactions and understand that you guys are understanding us and things like that. So thanks, Seth. Appreciate that. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you guys today and show you guys the outline so we can go ahead and get started. Just 1 second here. Okay, so this is the end of March. As all of you know, we're basically should be full swing into golf season in 90% of the country now. I know some of the places like upstate New York, Michigan, you're still in some snow and some wintry type weather and things like that. So hopefully next month, as we start getting into April, the weather's going to change for you guys and you'll be able to really start launching all of the programs from hero days to tournaments. And now we also have these linear markets that are going to help you guys in those winter snowy states, like the savings pass with schools and sports teams and the QR codes and just lots of different ways for us to raise money for our charity partners, but also help all of us earn income throughout the winter. I don't want to complain too much, but here in Southern California, we've had quite a winter. Oh my gosh, it's actually been affecting our tournaments and our hero days because we've had more rain this year than I can even remember, maybe 15, 20 years. I know our snowpack in the mountains has reached all-time highs. And so it's great for our drought, but it's been really tough for our business. So we're just really excited to get into April finally and kind of have the golf season coming full swing. So with that, let's talk about some birthdays that we've got coming up. There were 6 of them in April. Those of you who are new, if I missed you, I'm sorry. We're constantly updating the calendar and sometimes we miss people. But Jason Creech is our new ATM out here in Southern California. He's been doing a great job. He went out, actually did his first hero days. He's been raising great money. Just started with us a couple of weeks ago and he's doing a great job. So happy birthday, Jason, coming up on the 2nd. We have Scott Turner out in Orlando on the 6th. Seth McMinn out in West Texas coming up on tax day, April 15th. John Blatch out in Syracuse on the 22nd. Patrick Wagnon in Colorado Springs on April 25th. And Eldon Mills, I'm sorry, I forgot to put your date on here. I think it was the 28th. He's out in Syracuse, but I think it was April 28th. So happy birthday to everybody coming up in April. Moving right along to some shout outs. We've had some really big numbers coming up, you guys, thanks to Cancun. I must say, Cancun and the Savings Pass is changing what we're raising out there on the tee boxes. So a couple personal records that happened in March. We have Carter Hess. He's an ATM out in Florida. He raised over $2,800 on the TSP program at the For the Fallen tournament. And not only is he one of our ATMs, but he's actually one of the guys who came out to our tournament. He's an amputee. He's a surfer. He's just an awesome dude. We love Carter and we're so excited that he's working with us and he did just a great job. $2,800 is a fantastic day at any event. So great job, Carter. Alyssa Barton out here in Southern California. She had a $5,300 hero day. I think that's probably second place in our company overall of all time. Great job, Alyssa Barton. Just amazing day out there at a hero day. And then Michael Clancy. Michael's been with us a long time, like 7 years now, and just hit a PR in March of $3,100 at this tournament with the prize management program. This wasn't even a hero day. He wasn't even out there talking about veterans. He was doing a tournament with our crank drivers and he raised $3,100. So this is a huge testament to Cancun, you guys. And if you're not offering the Cancun trips on the tee box, you need to start. You need to learn this. And then also the savings pass those opportunities for people to win or receive back as a thank you for their donations, it changes the game, completely changes the game of what you can raise out there. So if you're either new or maybe you've been a little bit shy about implementing some of these programs on the T-Box, you really need to get with your regional vice president and make sure you're super comfortable with the pitch, how to present Cancun and the savings pass, and really start changing your numbers. I mean, this is crazy, you guys. If we go back 2-3 years ago, we were given shout outs for raising $2,000 because that was a big deal. Now we're talking about $3,000 and $5,300. I mean, this is awesome. So just great job, everybody. I know there's a lot of other people that have been on the course. You guys have been doing a great job. I'm sure there's some shout outs. If any of the RVPs have anything you'd like to add for shout outs, please go ahead, because I don't always see and know everything that your teams are doing. Okay. Moving right along, we're going to get into some protocol changes that we have, but also just reviewing some protocol. And we have a brand new deck that Leslie has put together, and it's beautiful. Our old deck was nice. This deck is amazing. So I switched the order around, Leslie, but I know you said that you're on time now. So between Leslie and Audra, whichever one of you wants to go first, it's up to you. I don't care.
Sure. Yeah, I can still go first if you'd
okay.
like.
Yeah, so I'll stop share if you want to share the screen, and you can share the new deck. That'd be awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All righty, everybody. Give me just a second. Okay, so let me minimize everything. There's so many things going on. I know we've all been super, super crazy busy. So, but shout out to everybody for working super, super hard. What an awesome time. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is the new deck. This is the EFS deck. It will be replacing the ones that are currently on the CRM. And then these will also be customizable to everybody in the company, just like the hero deck is. So I just want to make that super clear right off the bat. I decided not to go with a cover page for this, just to we're trying to be environmentalists maybe and not waste as much paper. But I also, just having something that's not super wordy and having a lot of pages to it is kind of nice. So, so this is the cover page. We are the largest supporter of charity golf in the nation. Of course, everybody knows us for our reputation. There's a little blurb right here about who we are, what we do. We've been supporting the charity golf event industry for 12 plus years. We've worked with everyone, the largest and the smallest events nationwide. We have legendary programs, on-course fundraising, amazing player prizes, custom packages. All of that is kind of spelled out right there as just a brief introduction. So here are some of the people that we've worked with, and you will notice here, the Hero Golf Classic is number 2, because our tournament, you guys, for the Hero program is getting huge, and we're super proud of that. So we definitely wanted to showcase that at the beginning. But we have some really great photos here. You can see Mr. Rich Klipka over here and our CEO, Jay. Some of our heroes over here. There's Carter.
Yeah.
And Mr. Clint Eastwood. And I think we've got Doug Donnelly on there too. So we went with just a few photos on this page, but you can kind of go through, some of these bigger names that we've worked with when you're presenting this. This is the Hero Program page. So it's, we already have our Hero Program deck, obviously. So this is just kind of reiterating that we want to include it into all of our stuff. So we are really branding the Hero Program right now. And it's awesome because a lot of people know about us now. It's really, really cool to see how much we've grown. I mean, we have a great reputation with what we're doing. So we added this in here. Obviously, it looks similar to the presentations that we've already customized for you guys. Also, please note that if you have not had a Hero Program deck customized yet, please email myself and my assistant Morgan with your name, phone number, email, and territory, and your title, please. And we will make sure that gets done. Pretty sure we have most everybody in the company. Audra or Amanda, would you mind writing my email and Morgan's email in the chat for everybody just while I'm talking? Just so I just want to make sure that that's clear. And that will also be the protocol for getting your customized EFS deck as well. So the vision and description is pretty straightforward. We go over what it is to be a Hero Course partner and how Hero Courses directly impact the lives of thousands of veterans and first responders and their families who have risked their lives to protect our freedom. So we did make a change here with the Hero program that Audra and I kind of went over on our call on Tuesday, but we are providing a $1,000 hole-in-one challenge and closest to the pin during normal play day. So that being said, there is a new addition to this as well. So I just want to make sure everyone's paying attention. We are not going to split this with the heroes because we did lower the amount and we are giving so much back with Cancun and Savings Pass. $1,000 is the hole-in-one and $1,000 will go to the winner on that hero day to spend at that course. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
You know what, Leslie, real quick, sorry, before you move on, I just want to talk about this briefly.
Please.
Yeah, because I think it's important for us to stop here. The deck is beautiful and we're going to see it all, but this is a change. This is something that's different. So if your RVPs, RVPs have talked to you guys about this, but just to cover it, we're giving back a ton for these hero days now. So this is not a bad thing. This is actually fantastic for everybody. The golf course are going to be thrilled that we're giving away Cancun trips to their players now. But one of the things that I wanted to make sure everybody understands, when you're on the tee box and you're talking to the golfers and they're getting excited about what they get, and you're talking about this hole-in-one opportunity and you say it's $1,000, oh my gosh, you have to be extremely clear that that $1,000 is a gift certificate to the golf course, not cash to the golfer. Okay, that's the reason those golf courses allow us to come out there and fundraise for our heroes, because they know we're paying them for the closest to the pin every time we're there. And if somebody makes a hole-in-one, that money goes to the golf course. So that has to be clearly stated on the tee box when somebody wins, or when you're doing your whole spiel to the groups. So go ahead, Leslie. I just want to make sure that was very clear. We did have a hole-in-one winner, you know, didn't really understand that. So we just want to make sure it's clearly stated that it's a gift certificate to the golf course. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing that up. And yeah, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity because we're bringing in so much more money for the golf courses based on our hero days every time we're out there.
Yeah.
Because of the Cancun trips and Savings Pass. So this is a fantastic change, and the golf courses are going to be happy about this because we are producing more. So I just want to make sure that that's clear and follow up with that. But thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, just look at the numbers we did for the shout out. I mean, we're out there raising $5,400, $3,000. We used to go to these golf courses and raise $800. Now we're raising $2,500 at the same courses. It's a no-brainer for the golf course. They're making way more money now because of what we're raising. So thank you for bringing that up, Leslie.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just awesome. So it's really cool to see how things are progressing within the company. And
I think Ian has a question real quick, Leslie. Ian, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, if they had entered into on that day, they would have done, say, the 1999 thing, so that they would have be in the running for the Cancun. So if they make a hole-in-one, do they also get the Cancun?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they donated the 1999 recurring, they're going to get that trip. So absolutely, whether they make the hole-in-one or not.
But they don't win the closest to the pin.
Well, if you make a hole-in-one, I don't know how you get closer than that.
No, but you keep that
do they
separate.
get the whole, then they get the whole McGilla, so they get all of that together? That'd be cool, but I don't know. I think we should still give the closest to the pin separate, but that would just be my suggestion.
That's fine. That either way, you know, we're going to leave that up to your discretion. Either way, you can give it to the hole-in-one winner. You can keep it as like the next closest gets the first place, and then, you know, that's fine, Ian. Whatever you guys feel is best. Okay, good question.
Yeah.
All right, Leslie, go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, closest to the pin is still winning that full value gift card, 10% of the amount that we raise each time we're out there. And then make sure the golf courses do know that that is at full value. They don't have to give us a discount. We purchase that every single time. And golfers have the opportunity to win incredible prizes, trips for 2 to Cancun, Mexico, and VIP savings and travel passes valued at over $2,800. We do have our beneficiaries down here. It's kind of small, but once you get these printed, it'll be a lot larger. So, but it's also nice to just showcase who we're actually supporting. So moving on to the next page, I'm really excited about the changes on this page and the next page. So this is all of our on-course fundraising, you guys. So we have our par 3 up at the top. So it basically goes through everything here. Our staff sets up from 165 yards during the tournament. So this is for tournaments. I want to make sure that that's clear. This is on-course fundraising for tournaments. So the par 3 program does not drop to $1,000. We're keeping that at $3,500. Okay, so that's another change that I want to be super, super clear about. We are still doing the $3,500 for the hole-in-one on our tournament days on the par 3. And we just want the charity to get the absolute most amount of money as we can. So that is why we're keeping it that way. Amanda, do you have anything to add?
No, just to be clear, this is split. So when you're on the tee box and you're talking to the golfers, you need to make sure they understand the 3,500 is split with the charity and the golfer. So that is clear. If they make that hole-in-one, they're not getting the $3,500. Okay, and that $1,750 that they do get is a gift certificate to the golf course. Now,
Yeah.
we can make exceptions. This does come up when you're talking about tournaments. Sometimes people travel in from out of town and they don't live nearby that golf course, blah, blah, blah. So we can take things by case, because this is not where it's a hero golf course and we're there because of, our relationship is because we give them that hole-in-one money. So if this is a tournament, we can make that exception if somebody doesn't live nearby or something. But when you guys are on the tee box, you just need to make sure that you clearly explain it's $3,500 that is split 50% to the golfer and a gift certificate to the course. The other 50% goes to the charity that's doing the tournament that day.
Perfect. Thank you for going over that. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. So the par 3 is at the top there. I'm going to move on to the par 5 real quick. So on course fundraising, there is a big change that we are implementing with the par 5, you guys. So just to be clear, in the past, we have done an option between a 50% split with the charity in cash or 100% in prizes valued back to them. Now, we have so many incredible prizes that we are adding into all of our programs.
You
now.
froze, Leslie. Oh, there you go.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you came back.
Okay, sorry. We've implemented so many amazing prizes into all of our programs now that I want to make sure that you guys understand this is also a good change that we're bringing to all of our tournaments. But we are no longer offering the 50% cash back at the end of the day. Now, if there is something like you've done a tournament for 5 or 6 years and they rely on that, we will make those special exceptions and grandfather them into that same deal. But moving forward, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, we are not going to be offering the 50% split in cash anymore, only prizes. So that is reflected into this paragraph right here.
Leslie,
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, Leslie, that's correct. I just didn't know if you guys could hear me.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's correct. And you're going to be changing this because we got confirmation from Jay today. The value of the drivers is going to stay at $649. We know Crank does little specials and they try to say it's $699, blah, blah, blah. We're going to leave it at $649. That's all of our documents and everything at $649 value. So when you're calculating back the prizes, you're still going to use $649 value. As far as the 50% goes, you guys, this is a huge opportunity for you to book the par 3 with the prize management. So if your charity is saying, wow, well, we really just need money, well, then do the par 3 as well as the par 5. They get prizes from you on the par 5 prize management program, and they're going to get cash back on the par 3 hero hole tournament sponsor program. So, but yes, we're going to phase out the 50% back. It doesn't pencil out. It's not really better for the tournament, to be honest, anyway. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Go ahead,
Amanda,
Audra.
I was just talking to a tournament a couple hours ago, and they had brought up like the pricing of the drivers, and I just said that for charities we actually discount the driver $50. So full MSRP is $6.99, but because we're working with your organization, we're gonna count the drivers as $6.49. So that's like another way to kind of spin it too.
That's
That's a
good.
great way to say it, Audra.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. So if anybody does come and say, hey, the crank drivers are valued at $6.99 on their website, then yeah, we discount it for the charity. I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Also, I know, like Leslie said, if you've had tournaments you've been working with for a while, we will honor that. Also, if you just booked something, last week, fine, we get it. We're just rolling this out right now. So over the next couple months, we understand there's still going to be some of them that have the 50% cash. We're just asking you guys to really stop offering that as you're talking to the charities.
Yes.
Amanda and or Leslie, can you guys expound on, for those that haven't done a crank hole yet, what was the 50% that we're not doing? What? I don't know.
Terry, the Crank It Whole had two different options for the charities. So let's say you go out and you raise $1,300 just for easy math, right? Because $650 per driver. If you raise $1,300, you would give them 2 drivers back. That matches 100% of what you raised in the value in prizes. So we don't give them any money. We gave them drivers. Then we did offer another option. If they didn't want any prizes at all, but they needed cash, we would give them half of the money that we raised that day. So again, if we raised $1,300, we would have given them $650 in cash and no prizes. So we're eliminating that. It's just not penciling out for anybody anymore.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and on that note, yes, I will change that $6.99 back to $6.49. Otherwise, I can keep it if we want to kind of do what Audra did. I mean, either way, I think that's a really good idea, Audra, and thank you for saying that. And you guys, our hero driver is valued at $6.99, just so you know. And Crank can run as many of their, their sales as they want to, but our hero driver is the best one, and it stays the same, and it is valued at $6.99.
Yeah. But that's not the one we're giving away. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, Leslie, and I'll join you on that really quick. We don't ever want to get into a price war with Crank. I'm one of the 2 owners, but Lance Reeder runs it. He's also my best friend for people that are new, but he'll do all kinds of pricing. We're not a $1 billion Callaway company. We are a very solid company, but a small company. So the hero driver, Crank does not sell, does not make. It is the highest quality drivers that come through. It's the hardest paint job. It has American flag flow through the top of the driver. On the face of the driver, it says Hero and USA, and it is never discounted. Never has been outside of what we do for charities. So it will never be in a price war if Crank does a special. So I just wanted to make that really clear, because as you get into this, you'll see Crank run all different types of advertising. That's never on the hero driver.
That's correct. And the hero driver is the one that everybody wants. So we have that in our class.
Yeah, and just to be very clear though, on the prize management program, we're not giving away the hero driver. We're giving away the regular Crank fire driver, the regular paint, not the hero. Just so that that's very clear.
Thank you.
One more stupid question, guys. Sorry. Are any of the pro shops carrying our crank drivers?
That's a good question. We did brick and mortar for a while. We've found that retail and all of that just really didn't pan out super well. So I don't believe there's any pro shops left carrying them at this point.
No, for example, Pachanga does, but we don't really promote that.
Yeah.
Well, and all the, oh, go ahead.
What's that?
Pachanga has a couple left of the older models. Yeah.
The reason why we stopped it just to make it easy is because people go out and we can do an 18th hole. We can do crank it holes for charities. And our team makes a lot of money on drivers. Why we significantly discount them. When we started carrying them in the pro shops, now all of that revenue goes through the golf course and there was very little discount. So it was better for our team to go out and sell 5 drivers and make $200 a driver and walk away with $1,000 or $150 a driver and make $750 than to carry them in their pro shop. So essentially we discontinued it. It's just better for our team. That's why we did that.
Yeah, and I could also see it being a conflict of interest if you're offering the driver for less on the course than the pro shop was carrying it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That was my question.
For sure.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, all of our drivers are custom made, hand built to the specs of everybody that wants one or buys one or wins one, right? So it does
Yes.
make it a little bit more difficult to carry them in pro shops. So this is a way better way to do it. It's how we've done it for a really long time. So just to add to that. Now,
Leslie,
oh, go ahead.
excuse me, just to follow up on the now all prizes for a tournament. If they, if they did see what we did previously, but they never worked with us, now it's all prizes versus the 50%. I think to explain to them, and the example that Amanda had with $1,300 in value, the first driver would go to one of the winners that donated. The second driver is up for grabs on how the tournament wants to use it. So they can raffle it off, put it in their silent auction or whatever, and actually make more than what they would have gotten if they went with the 50% option.
Totally agree, Rich. Absolutely. That's a wonderful way to present it. If you raise enough that you can give away more than one driver, that's absolutely a wonderful way for them to do that. And it's very common that we're raising that now. I mean, with Cancun, we're definitely doing it. So great point, Rich. Thank you.
And on that note, Amanda, I mean, we do have Cancun trips too, and the savings pass that we can offer as prizes to give back to the winners as well. So it's not just drivers anymore. So we did go ahead and put that in there as well. So we
and trust me, you guys, for those of you who are new, and like Terry said, Terry goes out and kills Hero Days, by the way. She's awesome, but she has never done a crank it hole or a prize management program. I'm telling you, when you're at that banquet, and you're calling out name after name for drivers and tee boxes and all kinds of stuff, and everybody stands up and shouts, and they're fighting each other for who gets that driver, and they're buying it from each other. That does more for that charity tournament than the $600 that you give them on the side that nobody in the banquet even hears about. Trust me, it's a whole different game when you're giving away prizes. So, yeah.
A question.
Go ahead, Ian.
The trip to Cancun that's mentioned there now, is that then the complimentary trip that we offer, or is that a full paid all-inclusive flight, trip, transportation to and from hotel kind of a deal?
It's the same Cancun trip that we're giving away on the tee box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Les.
Okay, I'm gonna move to the long drive entertainment section. We don't do this very often, but we do have this as one of our fundraising options. We can send out one of our long drivers to your events if they want, a clinic, if they want a celebrity golfer out there to come, hang out with everybody, raise money out there. We do have that option as well. So this is on there for you guys. Here's a picture of Tim Burke. He's, one of our most famous long drive champions. He's wonderful. One of Jay's really good friends. We've worked with him for a long time. So we do have that option as well. Moving to the next page, this is where some big changes are coming. So these are our custom packages. So we have our Elite Super Ticket, which we've always had. Then we have our Elite Custom Package, which is our $25 ECP. And then we have our Premium Custom Package, which is the $50 program. So I'm going to go through each of these and explain the differences here. So with the Elite Super Ticket, It's $20 per person. You can sell it at registration, but we always recommend building it into the player entry fee. It includes a scratch game for long drive, which is a super fun thing that all the golfers can participate with. And whoever wins the longest drive on that scratch card wins a hero savings pass, which is a $500 value. So that is a new prize on that, which is going to be awesome. We're super excited about that. $100,000 shootout. They will get the $100,000 shootout as normally. 4 golfers are randomly selected. Each one of them takes a shot for 150 yards out. If the shot is made, they split 50-50 with the charity. And then the closest shot wins a complimentary stay for 2 in Cancun, Mexico. So we're giving them a Cancun trip. Okay. And I think we were giving away AirPods or something like that before. So this is a huge upgrade. We're really excited about it. Hole-in-one stays pretty much the same here. They can pick out, a sports trip, golf trip if they want. All packages include accommodations, airfare, and $1,000 in spending cash. Contest prizes. If there's 72 to 100 golfers, you get 2 contests. So that means 2 contest prizes as well. And then if there's 101, it's just got really dark in my kitchen, you guys. Sorry about that. I don't know if it looks weird.
No,
It's
it's fine.
101 or more golfers. There are 4 contests. All winners receive a $500 tee box and an ultimate savings pass. Okay, so that's valued at $500 as well. Contests can include anything from putting, long drive, closest to the pin, straightest drive, etc. So moving on to number 2. So in red, you will see the upgrades and the updates to each of these packages. So I want to make sure that's clear. So if you're presenting this to someone, make sure you point that out. Say anything in red is different from the previous one. That kind of helps you out a little bit. So our ECP, $25 a person, built into the entry fee. It includes the scratch game. All golfers can scratch off to win a hero savings pass and a complimentary stay for 2 in Cancun, Mexico now. So they get both. And that's what we decided, right, Jay? Is it, or are we doing a second place for the hero savings pass, a first place for Cancun, or they get both of those?
Both.
Both of those. Okay, that's right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. So they get both of those, you guys, which is awesome. So that's just one more reason to upgrade to the $25 option. Now there is a slight change here as well. For the $100,000 shootout, everything is the same, but the closest shot for this wins a hero savings pass and a complimentary stay for 2 to Cancun, Mexico too. So instead of winning a pair of, Nike sunglasses or Oakley sunglasses, whatever it was, they're getting an insane amount back for this. And people are going to really see the value in this. And we thought, might as well just give them a little bit more now that we can. So these 2 hole-in-one prizes and contest prizes, these stay the same. Now for the premium custom package, so the $50 option, it's actually going to be $50. You're good, honey. Sorry. $50 a person. And I did not change this. It still says $25 a person. I just got that mistake. So I will change that. It will say $50 a person or built into the entry fee, includes the scratch game. All golfers can scratch off to win a pair of, I think we said EH40 earbuds and a complimentary stay for 2 in Cancun, Mexico. But I think we are going to switch that back to the savings pass as well. So that will be the same as the custom package. The $25 custom package, but you can see the $100,000 shootout will stay the same as well. Now the hole-in-one prizes, they get 4, so they get 4 choices for the hole-in-ones, so they can have a hole-in-one on 4 of their par 3s, which is exciting. They get to choose whatever they want, and they have 4 contests. Now this is where it gets really cool. They can choose a contest. They can choose to have closest to the pin on 4 holes, or 3 closest to the pins, 1 putting contest, but it has to be a minimum of 72 golfers. But all winners receive a $650 tee box and an ultimate savings pass, and all winners receive a complimentary stay in Cancun, Mexico. The total value per person that wins, per winner, is $16.50 per winner. This is massive. Okay. I don't know, if you guys can really understand how massive this is, but this is going to be amazing. It's kind of a no-brainer to just upgrade to the $50 option now. So I want to stop there and pause there. Amanda, Jay, do you have anything you want to add? I'd love to answer some questions. I know there are a lot of changes on here, so I'll just pause for a second.
For me, Leslie, you've done a great job walking us through this. I think what was exciting for our team to know, used to give $40 or $50 ear pods. We'd give sunglasses. It was nice, but what are they, $100? We're now giving $1,500 prizes back. I used this savings pass and went on a trip this past week and saved over $400 the first time I used it. We value it at $500, but it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars annually. So what we're giving back now, it's just nice to see how far we've grown and what we can give back. When they're paying $25 or $50 per player and receiving thousands and thousands of dollars in gifts alone, let alone hole-in-ones worth tens of thousands, $100,000 shootout and on, we put ourselves in a really unique position that I'm very proud of. So Leslie, great job. I really appreciate how you've built this. It looks amazing, and the way you've walked the whole team through it.
Absolutely. And it really is just a testament to what we already know and what we already claim. And we do have a stellar reputation, and we are the best in the nation at what we do. And now we're getting better. So that's something to be proud of. And I couldn't be more proud to work with each and every one of you. And this is going to be awesome when we roll this out.
Yeah, this is beautiful. For those of you who are new, some of you might be like, oh my God, what is this? I don't even know anything about this yet. And you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed because all you've really learned to this point is the Hero program and maybe the TSP for tournaments. So don't freak out. I know this is a lot of information. We're just going through the deck right now, you guys. If you haven't learned this program and how to sell it to charities and how to implement it at a tournament yet, don't worry about that. We're not going to go over that today, but we can schedule a workshop. I can join your RVP calls, something to that effect, to make sure that all the new people really start to understand these programs, how to sell it to the charities and how to implement it. So if you have questions on that, let's hold off on those until we can do a workshop where I can join your RVP calls. If you have a question or a comment on the actual deck and how it's laid out, we'd love to hear that right now.
Now, the deck is laid out tremendously. I mean, it's a lot more user friendly than previous, so that's great.
Yeah.
Just one item, and not to complicate matters, but for anyone that's been around for a while, remember the Ultimate Savings Pass versus the Hero Program Savings Pass, just so there's no confusion to the tournament explaining what the gift is, because we may be going after the tournament for post-event fundraising with the Hero Program Savings Pass, which is much more value. Not that the Savings Pass isn't, just two different animals.
Good point.
You're right, Rich.
Yeah.
So.
And the Ultimate Savings Pass, whenever we give that out, it's just in a tea box. So just in one of the boxes with the water bottle and the sleeve of balls, just in that prize box. That's the only time, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, that we are giving out the Ultimate Savings Pass. Everything else is here in the program Savings Pass.
And the difference, you guys, the Ultimate Savings Pass has the discounts and the hotels and all the things in there. But it doesn't have your QR code. It doesn't have those types of things like we're building out with Ann and Trinity on the Hero Savings Pass for continued fundraising for you in particular, or for the Hero program. It's just the discounts and offers.
Yes.
Ian, do you have a question?
Yeah, I know. I just really got to ask. I mean, is there a minimum number of players for each one of these? Is there a contract that's going to be signed with this? And how many EFS people are going to be needed to be on site to do these kind of things?
Yeah, that's what we're going to cover in a workshop,
Okay.
but I'll cover it real quick for you. 72 is the minimum. That's why it starts here at 72. There is a contract. For the most part, when you book these, hopefully you're also including some on-course programs like prize management and the TSP. So you could have two people there handling this very easily. If you're there by yourself because you only have one on-course fundraising, that's fine too, but you will ask the charity to give you some volunteers. to help you out. So it's pretty simple, but I think we need to schedule a workshop for this. Our VPs will all brainstorm that, and we'll schedule a workshop for everybody to just learn this program, because it's a lot and
I
we
would
don't
love
have a
that.
ton of time today. So,
I
but
love that idea.
yeah,
That sounds
good
great.
questions, Ian. Okay.
Okay, so I am going to move on to the next slide. Unless anybody has a dire question that they want to ask really quick. All right, so we have custom event prizes. All right, so of course we have our T-Box prizes here. So the $500 T-Box, this is what it all includes. And the $650 T-Box includes these items. So there are a couple images here that reflect what they receive. Crank Golf, of course. We make the highest performing driver in golf. These drivers have broken every single world record in the golf industry and have won 28 World Long Drive Championships. All drivers are customized to each winner's swing speed and specifications. Add 20 to 40 yards with the new Crank Golf Fire drivers. Now the value here does reflect $649. So I just want to make sure that we definitely need to come to either $699 or $649. I'm just going to go with $649. Cancun trips for two. So winners receive a 5-day, 4-night complimentary stay in Cancun, Mexico for 2 people. Winners get to choose between 5 resorts. Private transportation from the airport is included. $30 spa credits for each adult in the party. 2 kids under 12 go free. Upgrades are available. Airfare is not included. Trip is completely transferable, and we are valuing this trip at $1,000. Is that correct, Jay?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have the Hero Savings Pass and the Elite Savings Pass as well. So we just put both on there, but they will receive the Hero Savings Pass from us, and the winners receive a 12-month membership. Obviously to over 1.7 million VIP offers locally and nationally, save it over 150,000 hotels internationally with cash back rewards. That's huge. I know the Maxwells just saved $176 on a stay that they booked in Colorado. It came back into their account 4 days later. So very, very cool stuff. The best travel deals in rental cars, average savings are over $2,000 a year, and over 20 million consumers use our platform each year. So now we are valuing at $500 per pass. This last page is going to go over on and off the course fundraising. So maximize your fundraising on and off the course, raise awareness, retain donations. This is all about the savings pass. Okay. So this is, this we threw in there just to have as an option in case you are talking to somebody that may be out of school, or you are talking to somebody that may not want to do something on course, but may want to do this on the course as well. So, and run it through the golf course themselves. So the Elite Savings Pass, maximize donations by giving donors a gift that they can use every day. 54% higher response rate than other traditional fundraising methods. We provide the platform, we provide the website and any marketing materials that they need, and we supply the QR code link for all donors to utilize. Now, most of you already know this, but if you don't worry. We have plenty of trainings that we can go back and refer you to. And I think Audra and I are actually going to be covering a lot of this on next week's call as well too. So it goes over, what it includes. It's a crowdfunding platform to raise, I'm on a call, and a donor retention platform to keep donors engaged using America's largest VIP discount network.
There's a little typo there,
is there?
Leslie, on America.
Oh, yep, I see it.
That's all. Okay.
I see it. Okay, perfect. So you will attract new donors. I will fix that. Expand your giving pool, incentivize and reward more giving. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. So I'm going to have to revise this page. So give back to all of your stakeholders, share your story with the video and image, and showcase a sponsor so they can, depending on who it is, if it's a school district, they can send us a video about the sports team that they're raising money for, or, an image or two, or a sponsor logo or two that we can showcase on all of that. So raise more money, engage and retain more donors while gifting the Elite Savings Pass. There are some images and some graphics over here to showcase that. And then at the bottom of this page, you will notice that this specific deck was customized to Jay. but this will be where we can customize it to your information as well. So obviously Jay's information is at the bottom right there with his title, his email, and his phone number. So that will be where we can actually do that for you as well. That being said, this is the end of it. There are a couple still, tweaks and stuff that I have to do. I saw a couple other typos on a couple other pages. So I've been taking notes myself, but please let us know. Send Morgan and I an email to get your customized version, and there will be a generic version on the CRM too. We are always adding new things, as you guys know, so please make sure that you are up to date with the latest version in your binder if we do make some kind of an update to this deck, and we will be. So I'm not adding it to the CRM yet because I am going to go back and edit everything, but this will be on there by today. So that being said, we have indoor events coming. We have, all of our recurring stuff as well. That's more of, stuff on the back end. So we didn't add that into this, but the indoor events we're working really, really hard on, Audra and I. So hopefully we'll be able to add that to the deck soon.
Hey, great job, Leslie. Thank you.
Yeah, this looks good. It's like a fresh new look. I love it. And thank you to everybody for all the feedback, Mike French and everybody giving us little tips. We'll get those little typos and tweaks done, like she said, and we'll get that on the CRM for everybody. Okay, then moving along, Audra, did you want to share screen for your stuff? Okay.
Share it right now. All right. So the different protocol that I'm going to go over, there are a lot of different topics, so it might seem like I'm kind of jumping around. But if you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to stop me to make sure that you guys understand fully. But because it is a lot of information, we went over this with our team the other day, and we felt like it was something that we needed to cover with everybody, since we're going into a very busy season, which is such a great problem to have, right? But we just want to make sure that all of these just different little things are being covered as you guys are starting to get more events, whether they're hero days or golf tournaments on the calendar. So exact pay versus rounding up. This is covered on the CRM training that Amanda sends out, or her team sends out when somebody comes on board. But just wanted to reiterate it, that it is definitely okay for you to round up when you're paying either a golf tournament or a golf course. And we definitely recommend only going up, about $1, maybe a couple dollars. There's an example here where if you owed a tournament $389, say you don't have $1 bills, then you can round up to $390. In paying yourself and anything that you're transferring over to the company, you have to make sure that you are taking the exact pay. It makes it extremely difficult when we are going through and reconciling, or Amanda is, or her admin team. And even though it seems like it might be so minor, that you were supposed to pay yourself 35 cents, it totally messes up everything on the back end. It makes it extremely difficult for her to be able to go through and reconcile efficiently. So just wanted to remind everybody on exact pay versus rounding up, and definitely let your managers know if you just need help with calculating these sort of things. We'd love to walk you through it on your first couple of events to make sure everything's done correctly.
Before you change, Audra, I just want to add something here, because some people are assuming that if it's, for example, on a hero day, if I give 10% to the golf course and I keep say I'm an ATM or a field rep, for example, and I take my 15% and I give 10% to the golf course, then that's 25%. So that means 75% goes to elite. That is not accurate, because you're probably rounding up to the golf course, right? You're not giving them coins. So if you're rounding up to the golf course, then you didn't give them exactly 10%. You cannot calculate your deposit that way. You have to use subtraction, the total raise minus what you actually gave to the golf course, minus your exact pay to the penny. That's your deposit. Again, if you have questions, please ask your regional vice president first before you just try to guess. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Audra.
No, thank you. And please feel free to pop in on any of these topics too. So the next topic would be turning in event forms and deposits. So right now we have a new structure for turning in your Cancun winners. Amanda, you're covering that after this, right?
Yeah,
Okay, just want to make sure. So we are asking that everybody turns in all Cancun winners the exact same day. And say for whatever reason, you're out at a hero day until dark, right? Because that can happen on a first day hero day. And you don't get back home until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Yes, that is okay for you to turn in the winners' names first thing the next morning, but we really want to do it that same day if you can. But outside of that, for any events and you getting everything reconciled on the CRM, we're asking that that's done within 72 hours. Really, ideally, we'd love it done between 48 hours. But we know that some of the transfers from Venmo and a couple other apps, it does take up to 3 days. So just keep that in mind. Get in your Cancun and Savings Pass winners ASAP so that we can stick to that protocol that we're sharing out on the golf course of them receiving their welcome call and their email within 72 hours. So as an example, you know, when you get your stuff in, then our admin team takes it. They send it out to either Savings Pass or Cancun, and then it takes them a day or two to then reach out to all the winners. So that's why we ask that it's done ASAP so that the winners are excited and they're happy, and we are sticking to the 72-hour rule.
yeah, and you guys, for you guys in the field, trust me, you're gonna want this done as soon as possible. The last thing you want is some golfer going into the pro shop saying, I paid $50 for Cancun and I never got a phone call because you didn't turn it in on time. Because they're not going to let you come back for another hero day if that happens. And the tournament's not going to ask you back. So you guys need to get this in immediately so that we can contact them right away, like Audra said. It'll affect you big time.
And that just made me think too, as far as reconciling the events on the CRM, that is important because I know firsthand after doing, you know, events Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a lot, but as you start to grow, not only remembering all the different numbers for your different events, but doing all of the reconciling for your team's events, it does get to be a lot. So the faster you can get it in, the faster you don't have to worry about it or think about it anymore, keeping those numbers in your head or on notes. So that's why we have been a little bit more strict about getting everything reconciled within 48 to 72 hours. So Cancun and the Savings Pass. So we're going to be going over the new protocol, but for now, you can still print off the winners sheets where you would write down their name, email, and phone number. We just ask that everything is done legibly. And if you're somebody that does not have a lot of time, you know, on the tee box, and which can definitely easily happen, especially if you tie in the Cancun and Savings Pass stuff with like a crank it hole. There's a lot of stuff that should be talked about. You're trying to find, you know, the right driver for the hitters. You're trying to pay attention to them to see if they potentially be a buyer for a driver, and you're trying to get their information. So I have seen a lot of sheets come across our desk where the winners are writing down their information. We cannot read them. So if you want to do it that way, no big deal, as long as you can make sure that it's legible. But what I'm going to start doing, and I would definitely suggest for other people, is using the note on your phone or on a tablet. And that way, whether it's you or them typing it, it should all be correct. And then in just a bit, we're going to go over the new link on the CRM for you to go ahead and enter all those, which those will be typed out. So it might end up being easier for you to copy and paste their information if it's already on your phone or tablet onto the new job form that we will show you, but making sure that it's legible, at least if you do not do it electronically. Another big tip that we got from Cancun when we had a meeting with them recently is we want to make sure that everybody across the country knows that you cannot say that the Cancun trip is free in any way. It technically is a complimentary stay. I liked that Mike even put in the chat that Cancun is really like a free hotel, you know, in a way. And that's because the winners are paying, you know, the taxes, they're paying fees, they're paying for their own transportation. all after donating to either the Hero program or to a golf tournament at their fundraiser. And so it is not a free trip. It is a complimentary stay. And then from there, they can upgrade to add it to being all inclusive. They can add on different excursions, those sort of things. But please be so careful not to say that it's a free trip, because that is some of the feedback that we got from Cancun on them not being able to book some of the winter stays. Outside of that, it's really, just make sure that you fill out all of the information. We put as little information that we need on any of our tracking forms or reconciliation forms, but it's there because we need it. So whoever ends up getting different forms and is pulling information to reconcile an event, we might have up, 30 different tabs, and they do all start to get confused. So please fill out all the forms that you ever have for an event completely, and that will help out anything on the back end. And then we will go over the drop form here in just a bit. So I'm going to skip over unless Jay or Amanda have anything that they want to add for Cancun and Savings Pass.
Oh, this is great.
Okay. So reconciliation form, same sort of topic. Make sure you fully fill this out. This is an example of what it should look like. And in this one case, we only had one person land the green to win closest to the pin. But even so, it has that winner's name, their phone number, what the yardage was or measurement was for them to win, and the dollar amount. Plus the gentleman in the pro shop went ahead and wrote his name, signed it, and put the date on there. So please make sure that you have that entire reconciliation form filled out. And when you take a photo of it for that golf course to keep, we also want that receipt in there as well, just to make sure that if anything comes up later on. I've gotten a call from a golf course where a winner thought that he had won, was curious, who it was or who else might have beat him. And so they were calling me, and thank goodness I had, the reconciliation form. So I got to tell them, no, this was first and second place. These were, their measurements and what we ended up paying out. Another case that has happened is the golf course wasn't sure where they'd even put the gift card. And so they thought that we had the gift cards. They ended up finding it later. But again, just being able to be organized, and all of our bases are totally covered when we do it this way. So please make sure that you fill this out completely. You leave this reconciliation form with the golf course on Hero Days. And then for tournaments, leaving both the reconciliation form and the tracking form with that tournament after you've had them sign and you've taken photos is the way we need to do things.
And the date is super important on here, you guys, especially some of you are doing the same golf course several times a week. Like Hannah Sanchez down in Tucson, Corey Pines is like twice a week at the same golf course. So if you don't put a date on here and it's your name and the name of the golf course is the same, I don't know which date that went to if you're not, if sometimes they get uploaded in the wrong place. So please put the date on there.
Like, great.
Yeah.
So this is more for reps. This is something that is definitely helped me as our teams have grown a ton in different states. And so I would definitely recommend for the other RVPs to require something like this, but it is ultimately up to you guys. For my team in any of the states, you have to send this. So what our team does is they send pictures of their tracking form, the reconciliation form, and before today, they're sending a picture of their Cancun sheet, winners list, along with these numbers. So if the other RVPs want to adopt this as well, it would go, here's an example, from For the Fallen, here's the date, what the tournament was and the program plus what was fundraised. And then they break it down because all of this information is stuff that we have to enter into the CRM in order to get an event reconciled. The biggest thing is not having to pull up a little tiny picture on our phones and trying to count all of the players because it wasn't filled out, right? And so I've tried to figure out the easiest way to streamline this. And so being able to break down cash, credit cards, Venmo, if they were using, Noilani Square versus their own Square, whoever's it might have been, how much they gave out for closest to the pin, a tournament, if it's applicable, obviously that field wouldn't be there. If it was a Hero Day, what they took as pay, and then what they sent to their manager as well, along with how many trips, how many players, or savings passes. So I would definitely recommend doing this just to help everybody on the back end with reconciliation later on. So event times, arrivals, and duration. I know that a lot of people understand how important hero days are. For me, I feel like I take it definitely more seriously than maybe some other people, because we are seeing that, one, we get to fundraise at these golf courses that come on board, 1 to 2 times a month. Plus, a lot of them are giving us a ton of leads for golf tournaments, which is so valuable. Eventually, they'll end up white labeling, which is ideal as well. But because of that, as a rep, I feel like people come on, they're excited to, fundraise for the hero program. They're excited to go to these tournaments, but they just don't have any idea of like why these are so valuable to us. So as far as arrivals go for a tournament, you should always be there 1 hour prior, if not sooner. Some tournaments will send out an email. They require you to be there 90 minutes, or even 2 hours before an event. So we just require 1 hour prior to make sure you can find the right point of contact, get the golf course or get your own cart to get your hole set up. Hero days are about the same. As you start to do more hero days, you can get your setup, done in 10, 15 minutes, but you want to make sure that you do have time to just create more of a relationship. You're walking in, you're talking to the golf course, kind of chatting with them. A lot of people, including myself, will go use the restroom because we know we're going to be out there for a while. You'll get your cart, go find the hole set up. And so giving yourself about 45 to 60 minutes is ideal. But as far as duration goes, first day hero days, especially with what I'm seeing out here in Florida, they're so vital for us to be there as long as we possibly can to fundraise the most that we can. When we say, that we'll be out there only 1 day a month, we want to take advantage of that 1 day. And so if you can be out there minimum 8 hours, if you can do it longer, please do. Or we've even had people split days where they've gone like the first half of the day and somebody else has come for the back half of the day, just to make sure that we show, a really great first impression. But as hopefully this doesn't happen everywhere, but as we've seen out here, there are other veteran organizations that are teaming up with golf courses. So I hear over and over again, wow, you guys are still out here. Oh my gosh, this other company only stays out for maybe 4 to 6 hours, and we are killing them on what we're fundraising out here. So again, it's all about our name. We want to be the best of the best, and we want them to always continue to choose us to come out over the other companies. Other hero days, you have to treat it like a normal job. Most jobs you go in for 8 hours. So please be there a minimum of 6 to 8 hours for just normal hero days. And then tournaments, full field events you're usually on the tee box for about 6 hours. That doesn't include, getting there, setting up, breaking down and stuff like that. But you should expect those kind of times while you're out there, while you guys are just, getting familiar with how tournaments and hero days work. Do you guys have anything else you want me to add at all?
I think this is great, Audra. I love, for those of you that have been with us a while, this is old news, but it's always good to hear again. For those who are new, you're getting an idea of what's important and what some of the new people aren't really thinking about. So these are the points that you really need to listen from our top producer for the past 12 years in a row. So hopefully everybody gets that. But this is great, Audra. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So using correct forms and completing them, we have touched on this a little bit. But for us, if I've gone to tournaments before and I thought I had everything in my box, I get there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a hero tracking form instead of the TSP tracking form. It is not the end of the world, but we want to limit those little mistakes. So just making sure that you're using our Par 3 TSP tracking form, which is for a hero hole at a tournament. Then that way it has a breakdown on that same sheet of what you gave for close to the pin, what you gave to the tournament, and you have the tournament sign. You take photos, they keep that. Where on a hero program tracking sheet, all it does, it's just tracking, and that's for our records. So there are little differences like that. I'm not saying you can't just write it on a hero program tracking sheet and have them sign it. It just doesn't look as professional. And we want to make sure that, when we're reconciling, that everything looks the way that it needs to look. Reconciliation forms are used for both TSP and normal hero days. And then the charity tournament tracking sheet is used for the Crank It Whole and prize management program. So again, on that sheet, it'll have a spot to put what you gave back to the tournament, how many different prizes, and they will sign and keep it, and we will take a photo for our records. Okay, and I believe this might be my last slide, but when to add notes to the CRM. So for somebody new who maybe they just went from a rep to being an ATM, they're getting onto the CRM. There are event tabs and hero tabs, but when you go into the actual results tab and you're entering your event results from that day, a couple things you have to make sure that you add is how many, Cancun trips that you gave out, how many savings passes that you gave out. And then if it's a first day hero day, you have to make sure that that is in there in the notes for that one event. So I don't have a lot to add for this topic, but just make sure that you're adding those sort of things when you're entering in your results.
Yeah, and that's different than the notes that are on the info page, like the page that shows the name of the golf course or the name of the tournament. There's notes at the bottom there. That's not what she's talking about. This is when you've already done the event, you hit enter results, yes, and the new screen pops up and you're putting in how much you raised and all that. There's a note section there. That's where these notes go. So thanks for adding that, Audra.
Yeah, no problem. So that's all the stuff that I had.
Great.
And then I'll let you, oh, Ian, do you have a question?
Yeah, on the white label thing. So I'm assuming that we don't want to try to get as many golf courses in a geographical area white labeled as possible, because the whole idea of the white label thing would be that then the course would have something to make them more attractive to the charity than somebody else, because they would be including this into their contract with that charity. So would we actually be entering into some sort of a contract with that organization and then also provide them with exclusivity on that white label agreement, guaranteeing them that nobody within 25 whatever, something like that? Or has that been thought out?
I personally would not limit myself. I would personally let the golf courses kind of figure that out, but Jay or Amanda, if you guys have another way, I think I want to get into every single golf tournament that I possibly can. So I wouldn't want to stop it from my end. I would want them to bring that to me, that they want to be the only one.
Yeah, I agree. You want to get every course white label that you can possibly agree to.
But the idea of the white label is that now the golf course can say, look, I know you're looking at, Kern River, but over here, we're doing everything that Kern River does, but we also will include a free $3,500 golf. Well, no, they got the white label too. So that doesn't cut it. And
We've
so
never had it come up, Ian.
Yeah,
It's possible, but we've honestly never had that be an issue. If you, like Audra said, if a golf course is concerned about that and you feel like you want to offer them some sort of mile radius exclusivity, fine, but they need to be giving you all their tournaments. You need to be getting the benefit from that. If they're not giving you any tournaments, then that exclusivity deal ends.
yeah, I would really rather have them bring me that problem than ever stop your own business because you brought it up.
Well, I've done a few tournaments. I set up a couple of tournaments. I've done this for the businesses that I've been in the past. I've done that kind of thing. I've gone and talked to the different tournament, the different general managers there at the different golf courses, and they, try to show off themselves as being, the place to go. As opposed to the other golf course. Also, the restrictions are many times just dates, and they don't have the dates to work with you. But still, if both have the open date, and they're trying to get you in there. But anyway, I'll drop it. If you haven't had it, I've run into it in my short time of doing that kind of stuff. So, but you guys have done it a whole lot longer than I have, with a lot more courses. So if it's just not an issue, it's just not an issue.
It's never been an issue. Not saying it couldn't be. And there's definitely, there's options for you can do that. That's up to you. We're just saying, don't offer it. We wouldn't recommend offering it. So, all right. Well, we're getting a little long here, but this is the most important part. So everybody shake your head up and take a breath and do some jumping jacks or something, because this is the part that you need to hear. put the thinking caps on. That's what my teachers always used to say, put your thinking caps on. Okay, I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to show you guys the new protocol for Cancun and the savings pass. So this is going to be a lot more efficient than you sending this to your RVP and them trying to decipher your hieroglyphic chicken scratch and hopefully get that over to Cancun. So years and years and years ago, I stopped accepting handwritten uploads from the team, like on our driver sales. I stopped accepting them because it just takes way too much time to try to read this stuff. So you guys, we need you to really take the time to make sure that this information is legible. So what we're going to have you do, if like Audra said, you can continue to use these sheets, and I'm going to pull them up on the CRM for you here. So if you go to your download section and you go to, for example, the Cancun one, you've got your Cancun trip winner. This sheet is what Audra was talking about, where you're writing down their name, their phone number, and their email address. You can continue to use that, or you can use your phone or your tablet with your notes and type it in there, something to that effect, whatever's better for you. But either way, at the end of your event, you're going to come back to your home office or wherever you're working. You're going to log in here to the CRM, and now there is this form, which you can hopefully see on my screen right now, the Cancun and the Hero Program Savings Pass winner information. It's here under Cancun. I'm going to show you that again. If you go to downloads, it's under Cancun and it's under the Savings Pass. So if you click on here, it's right there. It's the same form for Cancun and Savings Pass, one form. So when you click on this, you'll hit the blue link here and this opens up. Now, this is where you enter your information. If this is who's filling out the form, okay? Sometimes the RVPs are going to be doing this for their people. Sometimes you went out and worked the event yourself and you're filling it out yourself. Or if you're like an ATM, TM, you should be doing this yourself. Okay, so you're going to put in your name, your email, and your phone number. RVPs, if you're filling this out, that's your information, not the person who worked it. Your information. Now you get into the event info. If it was a tournament, you would put in, you know, whatever, Toys for Tots. If it's a hero day, you'd put in the name of the golf course. Okay. The date of the event. Now, did you work the event yourself? So RVPs, if you're filling this out for one of your reps, you hit no, and then you put in their name right here. If you're ATM, TM level, you should be doing this yourself. You're going to hit yes. So you're all good there. Now, which prizes did you give away? And you'll have the option of selecting Cancun, the Hero Program Savings Pass, or both. Because sometimes you do both of these, like Mike Rogers just did a Hero Day. He gave away savings passes and Cancun. Good job, by the way, Mike Rogers. You're the first one to do that. Woohoo! All right, so let's say you gave away both. Now you're going to scroll down and you have your Cancun winner like a spreadsheet. This looks just like Excel. You click in here, you can tab through the fields. Okay, so very easy. As you're typing, let's just say you put in, you know, Joe Smith, email, whatever, and his phone number. Then you tab to the next one. Type in the next one. You have room for 50 names on here. So this should cover it, hopefully. Now, if you gave away Savings Pass, then that same thing down here. It's just like a spreadsheet. Okay, if you only gave away Cancun, for example, then that Savings Pass spreadsheet isn't there. And if you only gave away the Savings Pass, then Cancun goes away and it's just the Hero Program Savings Pass. There's room for 50 names on each one. So what if you give away 75 Cancun trips at a huge event? Well, you're going to fill this out with 50 names. You're going to hit submit, and then you're going to go back in and do it again for the same event. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Please ask if you have questions. Because this is a big deal. This is a new protocol. The RVPs no longer have the Cancun certificate numbers. They can't even help you with this right now. It's done. It's over with. So if you go out this weekend coming up, tomorrow's Friday, all of you should be hopefully on the course between now and next Monday, doing either a hero day or a tournament. If you're an ATM or a TM, you need to be doing this immediately. If you do a hero day tomorrow, then tomorrow night, come into the CRM and you fill this out and submit. That comes across to my admin team in an email, and we are checking this every single day and sending the Cancun information out so they can get contacted immediately. Same with the savings pass. Any questions?
Yeah, well, we still need to email you and our VP a copy of the list then, or not?
No, you're just gonna fill this out and upload it to the CRM still, okay? Because if we have any problems with this, or somebody calls and says, I never got a phone call from Cancun, whatever, we need to be able to pull this up and match it to your event with that form that their information is on. Just, we need all the information we can get. So sometimes maybe you'll come in here and you'll fill this out and, you'll type their email wrong. Something like, Verizon is verizon.net, but a lot of times we get verizon.com, and that's confusing. So if anything goes wrong on this job form, we want to be able to match it, Mike, with what you wrote out on the T box. So you don't have to email your RVP anymore. You just upload it to the CRM and fill out this form. Okay.
Just to verify that when they come up to that hole, do they have to make a donation to be in the contest, or are they just automatically entered because they're there?
For the hole-in-one, Ian, everybody is included in the hole-in-one. Okay, if it's on a hero day or a tournament sponsor program, everybody's covered for the hole-in-one. But for the closest to the pin and to win Cancun or the savings passes, though, they do have to make a donation, and those are all outlined. Where are those outlined? On the Cancun sheets and all that stuff that we've gone over, like the different amounts. So, but yes, to get in the certificate or the closest to the pin and to win any trips, they do have to make a donation. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to show you guys on your downloads. For Cancun, remember, you've got all your table signs and everything here. For the savings pass, I wanted to show, there's this section called Documents from Ann. If you guys, especially if you're new, you may not even know who Ann is, but Ann is somebody we've been working with. She helped build this entire platform that we're using for the Hero Program Savings Pass. Her IT department is amazing. They've created just a wonderful, wonderful platform for all of us to be able to not only give back to people, but to earn income. You guys are all have been issued QR codes so that you can earn your income. Anne has been just crazy with all of these documents. She's so awesome. She's providing a lot of information for you guys. So if you want to click on this, there's all kinds of stuff. They're very wordy, but it's really valuable information. So I wanted to just make sure everybody knows there's tons of documents here from Anne, just different tips on what is the platform, how does it work, how do you roll it out, what do you say to people? But we just wanted to let you know these are all from her. So it might not match and look exactly like the documents from us look, because this is her verbiage, her wording, and her way of explaining her product to you guys. But Anne does not know our business. She doesn't know your commission. She doesn't know the payouts, how it works on our end. She doesn't know any of that because she's not part of our company. She's one of our vendors, basically one of our partners now for a product. So if you guys have questions on how you're paid, what's your commission amount, anything like that, those questions all need to go directly to your regional vice president. You don't need to call Ann and Trinity and ask them, your commission structure, because they don't know that kind of stuff. So, but gosh, look at all this information that she spent a lot of time putting all this together for us. So I wanted to show that to you guys. That was really it that I had to cover. If you guys have any other questions or RVPs, if there's anything you'd like to share or add, please let us know. Or Jay or anybody.
No, I think that this is a lot of information. So I think that, thank you guys for hanging on for this long and just let your RVPs know what you have questions on, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be joining your RVP calls here just to kind of help out as we're rolling out. There's a lot of new information coming out right now. So we'll be going over stuff over and over and over till you're like, geez, Amanda, I get it. Would you shut up already? That's where we want you to be. Okay. You need to be what Jay likes to call unconsciously competent. You know this by rote. You say it in your sleep. Your children, your friends, your family, they're like, shut up already. That's where we need you to get. Okay, so you just know it and we'll kill you with it. But hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining. Super excited that we're finally into April now and the weather's changing and everybody's out there in full force. So have a great month. Happy birthday to all the April babies. And we'll see you guys at the end of next month.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.